Welcome back in, flag throwers. It is Wednesday, May 21st, and we are back with another jam-packed episode. We're going to get into some NFL talk. We got a couple of guys getting paid.
Yep.
We got some great news on the flag football front, and then we're going to get into some MLB news as well. We got a firing. We got somebody who should be firing, or getting fired, excuse me. And then we got Devers getting hot. We got a former All-Star getting popped. And we got Husky guys on the hot seat in MLB. What? So we got that. We might get into a little bit of NBA later on as well. But first, shout out Hugo House. Go check it out. Flag 15, 15% off. Shout out W Energy. Flag 10, 10% off. Go check it out. All right, Jordan, what is up, bro?
What's going on, Neff? What's going on today, man?
Man, Neff in the thick of it with these allergies, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. Y'all cut my boy some slack today. I mean, he's working hard. He's still showing up for y'all guys. So let's clap it up for Cole one time because I was just kicking his butt, but I've been there, done that. I didn't take my Zyrtec today. I was telling him off cam, so I'm a little scared. But
man, I got the headache. I got the dry throat, man. I'm in the thick of it right now, brother.
Yeah,
let me
bro.
tell you. But yeah, I mean, excuse me. Yeah, we got some little bit of NFL news. Actually, the voting that literally just took place a couple hours before time of recording, and then we got a lot of MLB stuff to get into, including a lot of big Orioles news as well, which will probably lead to me going off of the hinges. So, love that. But yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. So the big news that dropped on Friday, and I told you about this. This was coming. Brock Purdy gets paid 5 years, $265 million, $181 million fully guaranteed. I love the deal for both sides. Brock gets his bag after giving his team a discount, and then the Niners get a guy who's led them to the Super Bowl at not top of the market money. Like, they didn't pay him more than Dak Prescott. So, I personally love the deal. I'm also a big fan of Brock Purdy, but I know you're not as big of a fan of him.
yeah, I'm going to go into it. I agree with you as the fact that I think it's a good deal for both sides. I'm all for guys getting paid because we all know, especially if you're a casual football fan, I think you can see how these organizations do players dirty a lot of the time. So I'm all for guys getting their money, getting generational wealth, securing the bag. It's the same for Brock Purdy. Am I the biggest fan? No. But I'm not a GM. Again, and it's hard to, get quarterback is the hardest position in football. It's also the hardest position to draft or to develop in football. You know what I mean? So the fact that they hit, you got to pay them. That's why Trevor Lawrence got the bag that he did. And Trevor Lawrence isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it's so hard to come by a good quarterback or a decent starting level quarterback that they just get bags thrown at them. And I'm not saying that that's Purdy. I do think Purdy's above average, but you know what I'm getting with it. It's just. The market on QB is insane, is basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so that 265 comes out to what, like 53 a year?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
So people making within $2 million of that number: Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. So that's all the people that are roughly within the same number as him. And the only quarterbacks that I would rather have on my team over Brock Purdy is Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar, and Jalen. I think everyone else, Brock clears. So personally, to me, I think this is a good deal. Around the other comps for Brock. So, and plus, this is also good too for the guys who are next in line, like CJ and Jaden and whatnot. So, like Brock, not completely tanking the market. I'm sure Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud's agents fully appreciate this deal.
Yeah.
But the Niners had to let go of a lot of talent to make this deal happen, so I'm intrigued to see how well they play because they lost a lot of people on defense.
Except
they lost
for
Debo. Oh, yeah. All right, good transition. Yeah, let's get into the other guy that got paid for them. Fred Warner got paid 3 years, $63 million at the middle linebacker position, or the Mike position for those who know football, and that makes him now the highest paid, and quite frankly, I think that's deserved because it really just depends on what type of play style you prefer. If you prefer like a field general, someone that's like better at coverage, then you prefer a Fred Warner. If you prefer someone that's better at like blasting the A gap and getting after quarterbacks and stuff, then you prefer like a Roquan Smith, like a harder hitter. So I mean, it's 6 and half a dozen between Fred Warner and Roquan, so obviously Fred Warner deserves to be highest paid.
They're
in
very
his position.
similar play styles, though. They're both tremendous athletes, and they're
Oh
both
yeah, I just think
torpedoes
Roquan's a little
knock
bit
his
more of
head
a.
off.
Yeah, I think Roquan's more of a heavier hitter, and I think Fred Warner's
I'd
a
agree.
little bit better of a pass coverage guy.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But yeah, so Fred obviously deserves this bag. So they lost Hufanga, they lost Ward, they lost a lot of guys, but they were able to pay Kittle. They paid Fred Warner, and now they paid Brock as well.
Mm-hmm.
CMC still got his bag. Trent Williams still got his bag. Ayuk still has his bag coming off that torn ACL. So, plus they have a lot of draft picks. So I'm really intrigued to see what the Niners have cooking for this year.
Yeah, I'm a Fred Warner fan, so I think this is a great deal. I wish Ryan Shazier would have stayed healthy because I wonder what his career would have looked like. Would have been similar to like a Roquan or a Fred Warner, especially the way he was starting off with those back-to-back Pro Bowls and All Pros or whatever. But
man,
really good deal for Fred. Good deal for the Niners too, especially like you were saying, they lost some. I think Javon Hargrave's gone. Is Armstead still there? I thought he left too. I might be
he'd
wrong.
been gone, yeah.
Yeah, Armstead. So yeah, even though their front seven, I mean they'll reload, but they're keeping their main piece of their front seven intact, which is the most important thing. So
dude, Fred Warner's only 28.
Yeah.
Bro,
I thought he was like 26. He's a little bit older than I thought he was.
I thought he was at Unk status. I thought he was like 31.
No.
Dude, he feels like he's been around forever.
That's what I'm saying. That's a really good deal.
Damn.
Because you think about it, he'll be what, 31?
Yeah,
and that's
31
still
when this deal's done.
He may be like at the end of his prime, but he'll still probably be a starting level serviceable backer at 31.
He'll still be top 5 to top 10. Like he won't completely fall off.
Yeah. Linebackers, I think the only thing that derails them is if they have injuries.
Yeah, or like if they lose like their quickness,
Mm-hmm.
like their lateral quickness,
Yeah,
like going side to side.
athleticism. But
Because I mean, he'll never lose his intelligence. Like he's one of the smartest defenders in all of football, so he'll never lose that part of this game.
I think that's mostly what you need at the linebacking position. Now, the athleticism helps, especially with the athletes that you have at the running back and tight end position. But we know that Fred Warner's an athlete, but he is smart too. So I do think that helps out a lot. Once that starts to diminish, I think he'll still be a good player because of the mental aspect of it.
I can't believe he's only 28, bro. I thought for sure he was like at least 30. I feel like he's been around forever.
Nah, yeah.
Damn, good for San Francisco, dude.
Yeah.
John Lynch does it again. Because like we can get into whether like they should have kept Ayuk or Debo. Like we can get into like the nitty gritty stuff about like who they should have kept, who they should have let walk, etc. But like when it comes down to like keeping his guys, like John Lynch is not scared to throw money.
I get it. I don't want to get too far into it just because I think it's a good conversation of what you were just saying. I think Ayuk was the right move, not just based off of his play style. I don't think Debo's is because think about it. Ayuk's just a route runner. He doesn't get hit a lot. He gets his yak yards and then he just goes down or whatever he does. He has good at run after catch. Debo does too, but he's more like a running back with the ball in his hands. He's looking for contact, and I think that's why his career kind of took the trajectory it did. As far as injury concerns, things of that nature, but that's a conversation for another time. I just thought it was an interesting point that you brought that up. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do on the offense, especially. I still think they're well coached, so I don't think they'll be bad. I don't think it'll ever be as bad as they were Jimmy G's first year and the years before that.
Yeah, definitely.
But we'll have to see.
I think they finished second in their division, but that's a way too early power ranking there.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on, so speaking of them finishing second, the only reason I'm able to make said prediction is because the NFL released their schedules. Now, they released it on the day that we aired our episode, so we are a week behind per se, but I just want to put it on the record, man. I mean, the Ravens' schedule is absolute ass.
Ours too. Why do they cut
Not
the
a
AFC?
fan.
Why do they cut the AFC North every year with these schedules, bro? The last couple schedules have been. They do. They've been ridiculous, bro.
I really said that. I can't believe that.
They've been ridiculous, bro. I'll bleep myself. But
Bro, it took me a second to realize what you said, bro.
They do, man. Bro, it's annoying, bro. They do this every year.
Every damn year.
Damn, that's the same damn thing. Yo, I saw the schedule, man. I wanted to cry, bro. Why do we have these loaded back halves of schedules, bro?
You know
Our schedules are so backloaded.
Everyone calls the AFC North the hood of the NFL, so Roger Goodell was like, oh, you guys want to be the hood, huh?
If he keeps messing up, the tribal chief is going to be his daddy.
Bro, I'm tired of it. Bro, you know how they talk about God gives the strongest battles to his strongest warriors, bro? The Steelers ain't that strong, bro. Stop giving them tough battles, bro. They're not that strong.
Bro, I do not understand. All right, let me just... hang on, all right. I got to get my words together because this like genuinely makes no sense to me. It has got me flabbergasted. Bro, like
you
Roger
fucking
Goodell.
with me, right?
Come on. Why are the Ravens on Sunday Night Football Week 1 in Buffalo? Every Ravens fan knows that the Ravens absolute crap weeks 1 through 4. We literally went 1-3 last year to start the season. Why would you put us on primetime football Week 1? We are going to get absolutely smacked. In Buffalo? In Buffalo. We are going to get our absolute shit kicked in. I will be genuinely shocked if we win this game. Like, I don't know. I'm pulling up the rest of the Ravens schedule now just to see how atrocious it is. Because I saw it and I was like, oh, great. I still think we're going to have a good year. Don't get me wrong. But, like, we're at Bills versus Browns versus Lions on Monday Night Football. At Chiefs versus Texas versus Rams versus Bears. We could literally be like 2-5 to start the season.
Yeah. Apparently, according to First Things First, we're going to be 0-6. So I would rather take the 2-5.
I mean, yeah, but it's not going to get any easier at Dolphins, at Vikings, at Browns, versus Jets, versus Bengals on Sunday Night Football, versus Steelers, at Bengals. We play the Bengals twice in 2 weeks. Or twice in 3 weeks, excuse me. Yeah. Not a fan at all of the Ravens schedule, but like it's like you said about the AFC North, man. Like we always get raw like a raw deal with these schedules. Like here, I'm pulling your guys'
it's
schedule
crazy
up now.
Oh, I got it. You want me to go through it?
I got it here. At Jets, that's a coin flip. You can win that game. Versus Seahawks, that's also winnable. At Patriots is also winnable. Vikings is probably a L. Browns is winnable.
That's a L.
The Browns?
No. I was talking about the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, that's an L. Bengals, coin flip. Packers, probably an L. Like, there is hope.
I don't know. We play the Packers tough. I say Colts is an L for sure, though. I don't know what it... Well, we usually beat the Colts, but they're always, like, stupid close games. So, like, I don't know. I feel like that's... I'll have to see what my quarterback situation is.
I can see 0-6, but I can also see, like, 2-4.
Yeah.
Like, you can beat the Jets and the Patriots... Or, excuse me, like the Jets and the Browns or, like, some sort of combination.
Is this, okay, this is with Mason Rudolph, right? Dog, no, A-Rod. I think they built our schedule for A-Rod. Because, listen.
They definitely did.
Jets week 1. Vikings week 4. Packers week 8. It's just a revenge tour for A-Rod.
Did you hear that if Aaron Rodgers signed already that they would have made Jets versus Steelers Sunday Night Football Week 1?
If Aaron Rodgers signed already?
Yeah, but since he hasn't signed, they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that, and it's freaking Will Howard versus Justin Fields.
Yeah, I believe it. I
think Will Howard's going to be starting Week 1. I think he's going to outplay Mason.
Can we just tank and then go get me a quarterback next year? Just give me a quarterback next year. I'm already chalking this year up, bro.
Hashtag abysmal for Arch.
I'm chalking this year up, bro. And I know they're gonna piss me off, and they're gonna win just enough games to be outside the top 10. They're gonna piss me off so bad, bro. They're gonna piss me off so bad, bro. Oh, the anger that you would see from me, bro, if we have a winning season this year. Oh my gosh, bro.
You know, I know what you want. I know what you want to do to that Steelers roster. I know what you want to do, bro. It's okay.
I'm gonna blow it up.
I knew it, and that's why I said I knew it.
There's nothing left for us. Yeah.
Did somebody say boom?
Bro, our window, we haven't had a window since 2016. I don't know, like, we had a good defense in the 2020s. We've had a good defense in the 2020s so far, but we haven't had an offense to go along with it. So you really haven't had a championship window. You've just had a good enough to win window. That's it. You're not a real threat in the AFC. I don't understand why you would just retool. Like, enough of the retool, signing old veterans, and trying to make ish stick. Just blow the roster up and restart, bro. There's no point.
You know what?
They're doing the same thing every year.
Dan Rooney, Omar Khan, Michael Tomlin, if you are listening.
Did somebody say boom?
That's what you need to do to your roster.
Yes. Yes. The 9 and 8s and 10 and 7s, it's not working, bro. It's not working.
Notice
Blow
how I
it
called
up.
him Michael?
You're not you do this every year. You go into the playoffs just to get spanked by the Chiefs in the first round because you're the 7th seed, or the Buffalo Bills because you're the 6th. Bro, no. I'm over it.
You know what? I'm over playing Buffalo week 1. That is a horrible idea. Bro, I literally saw week 1 versus Buffalo in Buffalo, and my blind reaction was, oh no.
Uh-oh.
There it is. A little delayed on that one. But yeah, so don't love our schedule at all, but I still think we're going to win the division and make the playoffs. I think the Bengals low key could only win one more game than the Browns. I think the Bengals could low-key only win one more game than people. So thanks to some technical difficulties, our MLB segment will be audio only. So for those watching on YouTube, please enjoy this phenomenal back screen that my lovely co-host Jay Lou has crafted for you. And if you're on audio still,
Absolutely.
well, this doesn't change a thing for you. But first off, before we get into baseball, I just want to say fuck you to BreezeLine. The worst internet on the absolute planet. If you can avoid them, please do at all cost. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming. So, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Every 30 seconds.
Hell yeah. All right. So, Brandon Hyde was fired. Jordan, you were on the scene. You were at the scene of the crime at the time of the crime. If you want to get into it.
Yes. So I didn't hear about it too much. As I was telling my wonderful co-host, I was in the finance department today. It was really, 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 really dead today. They didn't really talk about it at lunchtime, but we had talked about it in previous episodes, me and you and Luke. We kind of saw this coming. I wanted to know your thoughts on it, especially with me being fairly new. So more of its history, record with the team, all that kind of stuff. So what do you think about it?
Initially, I was yeah, this had to happen because of, we're literally 15 and 31. That's absolutely unacceptable for the amount of talent we have on this roster. But at the same time, if you dive deeper into it, this was more of a scapegoat situation. I kind of feel bad for Hyde because we fired him, and instead of going on a run, we've lost 3 straight. So, the Orioles... I think the bigger problem is Mike Elias. I think that's who needs to get fired rather than Brandon Hyde. But obviously, Brandon Hyde was going to get fired because the manager is always the first one to go. But Hyder, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for helping us turn this team around. Sorry it had to be you, but he knows the business. He knew this was coming. But Mike Elias, count your days, bud. Tired of this shit. That's my analysis on that. It's I'm kidding.
Probably
But,
next.
yeah, I mean, poor Hyder. I'm just looking forward to the offseason to see who we hire to be the manager. Mike Elias, if he's still in charge at that point, he better nail it because if we bring in some dipshit who has no idea what he's doing, we are in for it next season. This is our window.
Mm-hmm.
This is our chance to bring a World Series to Baltimore, and we're fumbling it around. Stupid. Too busy playing with ourselves to freaking do something about it.
Yo, oh man, yeah, I'm not surprised by this move, but I most definitely, for the sake of me also working there, I hope that we're good, just for the fans, because again, I'm not
We're not gonna be
a
not
Baltimore
this year.
Raven fan, but I am a homer, so I would very much like the O's to be great. And I think that baseball is better when the O's are good, especially, being from here. But yeah, we'll just have to see.
Oh yeah, man. I just feel bad. Like, who can I compare this to? Name a coach in the NFL that like survived a rebuild.
That survived a rebuild?
Yeah, like got hired when the
Technically,
team sucked and made them good.
you could say like Marvin Lewis, even though it was like a light rebuild. I know that's like
what I
a.
was thinking of. More
That's
like
not
a
like
Sean
a. That's what I'm
McDermott.
saying.
Sean McDermott.
Sean McDermott's a good one. That's a good example.
No, yeah, he survived the rebuild in Buffalo. Like, he was there before Josh Allen. So think of it like this way, right? Sean McDermott comes into Buffalo when they are absolute crap, and then they draft Josh Allen, and then they get good, and they stumble the first couple years in the playoffs, and then McDermott gets bounced. But mind you, McDermott was there for like 7 years. So, like, he endured the 5-year rebuild somehow, because most NFL coaches don't get 5 years to rebuild. But hypothetically, he was there 5 years in the rebuild. They draft Josh Allen, and then for 2 years, they don't do well in the playoffs, and then he gets bounced, acting like he wasn't the one that turned the team around.
Yeah, I also.
So,
No, don't get me wrong.
I feel bad for Hyde. Mike Elias, count
That's a
your
good-
days,
that's a good
buddy.
one.
All right, moving on. So, every week we've talked about Rafael Devers versus the Boston Red Sox, and boy, the drama continues. So, Rafael Devers has gotten white hot, nuclear hot over this past week, including a walk-off homer and a couple other homers as well this weekend for Boston. So, the drama continues because he called out the front office. The front office was like, hey, up yours, buddy. And he was like, oh, yeah, watch this. And now he's absolutely on fire. So I just love to see how this drama continues every week. Because one week, the front office calls him out, and then he retaliates, and then he gets hot. And then the front office calls him out, and then he retaliates, and then he gets hot. So I like this little cycle they got going on.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't happen against the O's, I don't care.
Unfortunately, it's going to because the Orioles absolutely suck. But Jordan,
Yes, sir.
listen to this, all right? We don't normally put people on the hot seat here on Flag on the Take, at least not yet, because we don't have that type of influence yet. But
Okay.
it's time. I gotta say it. To all my husky fellas out there, not saying the F word, not calling anybody the F word, but all my husky brothers out there, you guys are on the hot seat.
Why
You
do
wanna know
say
why?
that, bro?
So, Jose Alvarado, the former all-star closer for the Philadelphia Phillies, he's a little husky fella himself, not calling him the F word, but he's certainly not a kicker either, if you get what I'm saying there.
It's not a kicker, it's crazy.
He doesn't wear a schmedium, I'll tell you that much.
Yo.
But yeah, so he got popped for PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. He got suspended 80 games, and he's going to miss the playoffs this year. And the reason he got popped is because something he was taking boosted his testosterone, which is obviously banned in Major League Baseball because that can enhance your performance. And his reasoning was that he took this supplement because he wanted to lose weight quickly.
That boy
because he
chunk.
said
I'm
that he
sorry. I
was
just
fat.
seen a picture.
His
That's a
words,
big
not mine.
boy.
Oh, yeah. This is a very, very self-admitted husky fella. And so that's why I said husky guys are on the hot seat, because this guy just got popped for 80 games because he wanted to do some Ozempic or something. So Alvarado permanently taints his he permanently taints his reputation by now forever being known as a cheater, all because he wanted to shed a few pounds in a hurry. Not like the Philadelphia Phillies have some of the best chefs in the world at their disposal at any given time, and some of the best nutritionists at their disposal at any given time. No, that's certainly not the case, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's no way that's not the case, of course, because why would one of the most valuable franchises in all of baseball have world-class chefs and nutritionists and strength and conditioning coaches, you know? Why would they ever have that?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly this was his only choice, so whatever. Jose, you can try and defend it all you want. I hate it when people try to defend people that get suspended for steroids. You knew what you were taking.
Yeah, that's like
You knew
that
what you were
reminds me of
taking.
like the weed argument with the NFL with sports in general. It's like I get it. I'm not saying it's well, PEDs and weed are two different things, but I'm not saying that it's particularly fair, but it's still the
You know what you're
rules of
doing,
the
though. It's
game.
still the same thing.
That's your profession. Yeah, that's your profession. So you have to abide by those rules, especially when you're making the stupid amount of money that they do.
And it's not like there's not a list of literally every single thing that is approved and disapproved. Why would that ever be
Yeah.
a thing? There it is a thing! Every year in spring training, they go over it. Hey, guys, here's the list of things that are approved. Hey, guys, these are the things you need to avoid. If you want something approved, come tell us. And stuff like this still happens. So, Alvarado,
It's like the terms and
great
agreements.
job.
Don't
Just
nobody
put all
read
the
those.
Husky guys on the hot seat. So, right. So, Jose Alvarado, it's your fault that everyone's up on the hot seat, all the Husky fellas. But now, speaking of people on the hot seat, now this guy's not going to get cut or traded or anything because he just signed the biggest contract in MLB history. But Juan Soto gets called out for lack of hustle by his manager. Go check out our TikTok at Flag on the Take or Instagram or Facebook because I reacted to this initially, but I will also go into it on here as well. So Juan Soto got called out for a lack of hustle because he hit a ball that was hit off the top of the Green Monster and he only got a single instead of a double because he thought it was a homer. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I said this off rip, like I don't think it's that big of a deal simply because guys don't hustle all the time, especially stars, because they don't want to like pull their hamstring running out a ball that may or may not be a home run. So I get it, but I think this is over amplified because Juan is in the first year of the biggest contract in MLB history, and he's playing in New York, and he's off to a slow start. So Juan Soto got called out by his manager, and then Juan obviously defends himself like, oh, I don't think it was a lack of hustle. I thought I hit a homer. I was celebrating what I thought was a home run. Obviously, if I knew if it wasn't a home run, I would have run. You know, he says all the right things. So I think once Juan Soto returns to Juan Soto form, Mets fans aren't going to care about his hustle because he's just going to hit the ball so far. It doesn't matter how slow he runs.
Well, the New
What do you
York
think,
fandom and the media are tough, man.
They're
But
absolute psychos.
yeah, bro, they're crazy. So I think again, I think he said the right thing. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, there's the man got the contract for a reason. So I don't think a lack of effort is the question. You know what I mean? But like you said, I also understand you being a star player and not wanting to dive on a base and like do something that's stupid during the regular season. So
Oh yeah, I
mean,
mean especially with how
yeah,
many games they have.
yeah, so I'm all for I'm on one side here. It is what it is. They're just gonna have to suck it up for this one.
Yeah. Moving on to things that are sucking it up. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they have
Pause.
about 1,000,001 injuries. And so they're in a little bit of a skid right now because there is a little bit of chink in the armor, but I'm just going to make this really quick. For those who are hitting the red alert or getting on the Dodgers because they're in a skid right now, it's a 162-game season. This is a marathon, not a sprint, and they're severely injured. They're going to be fine. They're going to be back. As much as I would love for them to lose, I still don't think they're going to. But
They're still a
this is
super
pretty
team.
cut and dry. Exactly. And like they have all this depth, and that depth is now being tested, but I think they're going to be fine. I think this is blown out of proportion, but I saw it all over the internet, so I felt I had to address it. Ian Happ is back for a red-hot Cubs team. So the Cubs that were already red-hot hitting-wise just got even hotter with one of their best players returning. So look out for the Cubbies, man. They are on an absolute roll. Pete Crow Armstrong is becoming the star that they thought he would be. All they have to do is pay Kyle Tucker, and the Cubs will be absolutely golden right now. Obviously, they got to trade for a pitcher at the deadline, but just pay Kyle Tucker. You guys make the third most amount of money in baseball. Pay Kyle Tucker. End of story. Moving on, we get into the Tigers. The Tigers have been the best team
Still
in baseball.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did not ever see them being this good. I mean, Torque's been on fire. Javi's been on fire. Excuse me. The pitching staff, I know Reese Olson just hit the injured list today, but they still got Scooble. They still got that good bullpen. So the Detroit Tigers, they kind of have lost a couple games in a row, but it's a 162 game season, guys. This is going to happen. So I still think the Tigers are the best team in baseball so far.
I think they'll get the Cards today too, because the Cards are so. I mean, they're decent enough, I guess, but
the Cardinals have actually been exceeded my expectations. I thought they were only going to win like 60 games.
Yeah, I'm saying they're decent enough.
They're hanging around. Good for them.
I got Detroit and the Nets get today. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's on right now.
I got to see who's on the bump for them, but yeah, they definitely should end that. And then last but not least, the last thing we'll get into today because of the Breeze line shitting the absolute bed, just straight up pissing down their leg at the time of recording. The Minnesota Twins rattled off 14 straight wins, including 6 of those against our beloved Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
So
I was present at a couple of those.
What's crazy is that if they didn't do this, the manager was going to get fired. Rocco. Mm-hmm. Rocco was about to get kicked out. They were about to throw rocks at Rocco, but then they rattled off 14
Kick
straight.
rocks, Rocco.
No, literally, that's what they were about to tell him, and they rattled off 14 straight. And they're actually, Rocco, you can hang around for the rest of the year. You're not too bad.
Yeah.
The guys rallied. That's a manager who hasn't lost the clubhouse. There was rumors of Hyde getting fired, and the Orioles just pissed down their legs. The Twins heard about the Rocco getting fired, and those boys, even without Buxton and Correa, their 2 best hitters, they still rattled off 14
They were like,
straight.
oh, no, this can't be.
Right, exactly. So, unlike the Orioles who pissed down their leg and went and hid in the corner, the Twins actually stepped up to the plate, pun intended, and went to bat for their guy, also pun intended. So, shout out to you, Minnesota. You guys deserve better. Your owners are crap. Your team is crap. Well, not really if they won 14 straight.
Yo,
But
that was
no,
like
this
the nicest.
team is so cheap. The owners are so cheap. They don't make any moves. So
Bro, I thought you were gonna give him like a nice little compliment. Your team is crap. Your owner's crap. Bro, that caught me off guard. What the hell going on? Yeah, well, that was funny.
But yeah,
man.
so yep, that's all of our baseball news today. Once again, for those watching on YouTube, if you've made it this far, hopefully you like Jordan's background because Jordan puts good hard, blood, sweat, and tears into his work. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did. But for those on YouTube, thank you for sticking with us through Breeze Line's absolute shit show audio platform. Glad we still put out a good product for you. And we really hope you guys still like this. If you've made it this far and you haven't liked, commented, and subscribed on YouTube.
What is wrong with you?
Or dropped a follow and a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We would greatly appreciate it if you could take these last few seconds and go ahead and do that for us.
I ain't gonna be as nice as my co-host. Y'all better.
Doing that gentle parenting.
Nah, Melissa had a belt.
That boy already played no games.
No games at all. So. No.
All right. We will catch you all next week, as usual. Jordan, you got anything else before we get out of here?
We want to apologize for the.
It's not our fault.
Yeah, I don't even know what I want to say. We're sorry. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. Anyway, for those of you who stuck around, once again, thank you for your support each and every week. We've put out some good content, especially over the last couple of days. Please go like the shorts. Cole works very, very hard on those. Cole works hard on the Instagram as well. So please like, comment, subscribe. Whatever you got to say it with your chest. And go support our Scott Braun episode, please. He's a really cool guy. Biggest interview we've done.
By far.
Yeah, please. It's doing really well. You guys just please go run the numbers up even more. I think it's at 56 views, something like that. Yeah.
It's up to 60 right now.
So let's keep it up. Yeah, y'all please
get it to 100. Come on, guys.
Yeah, get it to 150. Let's do it.
Yeah, Scott deserves that, guys. Come on.
Yeah, y'all can do it. But yeah, that's all I got. Appreciate you, bro. Love you, dog.
Yeah, love you too, dog. And we love all of our supporters who stick with us through thick and thin. And guys, you know how we end this.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
No, we are not. We will see you all next week. See ya.
Peace.